Hey, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, I'm currently converting an NV2500 and we're going to work on the slide door today. So the slide door was in terrible shape when I got this. It was not only really ugly, but it was broken. So I first fixed the locking mechanism, but this video is going to be focused on how you can go ahead and get the door to look nice, and we're going to install this little video peephole that hopefully will add some security to my van. So the most complicated part of this design was the handle, because at the handle it needed to be thin so I could still get my hand through and operate that handle, but the rest of the door was pretty thick and it already had foam spray insulation in it, and I didn't want to get rid of that free insulation. So I made a little template, just some brown paper and some tape, and I traced it out in the door, and then I'm just going to put it on some 3/8 Baltic birch. So once I roughly trace out any template like this, then I'm going to go ahead and clean up all of the edges, make sure that the curves are nice and smooth and everything. So I usually end up grabbing random things from my shop that seem to be about the right size of the curve, and then trace them out again. If you don't have a bandsaw, a handheld jigsaw will also work for any of these applications. Since the door is going to take a lot of slamming and a lot of movement, I decided to use riv nuts within the frame part. So I just scraped off some of the foam insulation and then used a step bit to get to the appropriate size, and then used pretty much all of my muscle to try to get these riv nuts in. They can be a little bit challenging, but they're well worth it because then you have a nice threaded insert to be able to put some wood furring strips up. So I applied 6 riv nuts in total, and then to find out where exactly I need to drill the holes through these, I just go ahead and put the bolt in first, and then I just take a marker and mark the tip of it, and then put the board up, push it in really well, and then you're left with a little bit of that marker so you know exactly where you need to put the holes. So after I drilled the holes, I took the bolts out and then obviously put them through the wood and tightened them up nice and tight. I apparently lost the clip of putting the little green piece in, but basically after I scraped off all the foam insulation, I used some construction grade adhesive, and I put some Nastec insulation, some thin stuff in behind it, and then with adhesive I put the green part on, and then it's going to be mechanically held down as well with this trim. This piece is going to build it up so that it is the same thickness as the furring strips, and then the pieces of shiplap are actually going to go over this, and then there's going to be an additional piece of trim. So all of the pieces are going to be cut at the bandsaw, and I'm trying to manage this with one camera, so I'm keeping the camera out in the van. So just trust that I go in and I cut it with a bandsaw. Most of the boards took several attempts, so I would cut a little bit out so that I could scribe a little bit closer, and apparently I don't have the best camera angle here, I'm sorry. And then cut it back a little bit more, come back, scribe a little bit more, and just keep getting it closer. Now, not only do you need to get the arches right, but then on the ends, if you also sand and round over the back sides, then you're able to get a much tighter fit because, the van's going to be coming in at weird angles here. All right, now that I have the piece exactly how I want it, notice that I've cut out the little spots where the bolts are going to go. Instead of countersinking the bolts in, I wanted to make sure that they were as secured as possible. I didn't want any possibility of separation with the plywood pieces eventually. Not that they probably would, but again, this door is going to be slammed and open and closed all the time. So just as an abundance of caution, I chose to do it that way. So I'm going to apply some wood glue, and then I'm just going to nail this in place. For the top part, there weren't any of the actual van framing, so I scraped out the foam insulation, and then I really cleaned it really well because nothing wants to stick where the foam insulation was. It's been a challenge throughout. But anyway, and then I decided to use some really strong adhesive. I actually used the same stuff that they sent with the body flares, so I figured if it good enough to hold the body flares on the van driving down the freeway, then hopefully it's going to be good enough to hold this together. So we will see, but there was really not any good mechanical way to attach this top part. It would probably also be smart to have the door shut completely while you're doing this, because you'll probably notice that it's going to move a lot as I go, but it is Arizona and it's over 100 degrees right now, so I was doing anything I could to try to stay cool. Another thing that you might notice is that I did paint the parts of the door that are still going to be visible, and I painted them kind of a pearly white, so not really the plain white of the outside of the van, and I'm going to continue that color through any of the parts that are actually visible on the inside of the van. So the next board was the only easy board because it was pretty much just a straight cut. So the next board I was able to do a straight cut on one side, and then when I put it up there I was able to mark both parts of that little piece of trim, and so I was able to just cut it at a straight angle, so this board was not bad. So at this point I just continue to mark and scribe as I go for the remaining boards. So the next two boards were fairly straightforward, so we'll just zip through those. So whenever I get to a tricky spot, I like to make templates and just using scrap material because I don't want to use my nice material and because smaller pieces are much easier to work with. So I'm going to mark over how far this is going to be, mark the bottom, and then cut out the little bottom area. Then I'll come back. I'll be able to mark out my angle line a little bit more, and then I return with my piece, and if it fits well, then I will go ahead and trace that onto the full piece of shiplap. So then after I fit and finished this piece, then we're just going to do a little bit of trim work. So for the trim, I'm using a little pin nailer, and this provides very tiny nails that you don't really even notice, so you don't have to fill them, and they're able to get pretty short lengths as well. Now it's hard to tell on camera, but the difference in depth here is actually over an inch. So again, that handle area had to be pretty shallow. So I think that the solution of just kind of making this angular and two-tone color thing actually worked out pretty well. I'm pleased with it. I'm using white wood filler to fill all the holes, and then I'm going to repaint this again. When I do the shiplap sealing, you'll notice that I'm going to put tape down before I put the nails in, and by putting painter's tape over it, then you're able to get the filler just in the holes, which is definitely makes it a lot nicer when you have to do the touch-up paint. It's important to just give it a light sand to make sure that there is no extra wood filler. Before I do the finishing touches, we're going to go ahead and put in that video peephole. So I start by drilling from the inside because where it was placed on the inside was going to be more important than where it ended up on the outside, because I specifically wanted it right above that little handle area. So I just drilled through until I could feel that I had a tiny pucker on the metal side. And then from the outside, I'm going to use one of these step bits until I get to the desired size. Once I assured that the peephole was going to fit through here, then I taped off around the hole so that I could spray it with a little bit of paint. Any of the metal, if you drill holes and stuff in it, you want to make sure that you spray it so that it doesn't start to rust. Next, I'm going to put sealant under the peephole before I install it. From here, the install is super simple. So on the other side, there's two sizes that come with the kit so that you can do a thinner wall or a thicker wall. So make sure you get the one that's going to be the right thickness for you. And you're just going to attach these three pieces together, which is very simple. And then you're just going to go ahead and screw this in. Now it does come with a little long flathead thing so that you're able to screw this in very easily. Just make sure that you don't over tighten it and actually pucker the side of your van in. I kind of started to do that and then noticed what was happening. There is a little part that says this side up. Obviously keep that side up. That way when you put your camera in, it's going to work. So put the batteries in, and then you're just simply going to twist this on place. So it's super simple. So when I'm actually not using my van, I do plan on just popping this part off and bringing it in so the batteries aren't out in the heat all the time. So it's super simple. So on this side of the van, there aren't any windows or anything. So if somebody did come up to that side door, I didn't want to have to go up to the passenger side in the cab to actually look out and see what was going on out there. So this is a great way to just be able to see, and it seems to have really nice night vision as well. So there you can see I'm out there. Awesome. I'll put a link in the description for the video peephole camera that I selected. So now I just tape everything off, and I'm going to paint all of the white parts before I put up the final piece of trim, and that's going to be green. So it's just going to make it a lot easier to paint all of this before that is up there. So at this point, the door just didn't look quite complete to me, and there was two different depths going on because the top one was, you know, a little bit not as deep as the bottom part. And so with this piece of trim, I just made a couple of templates and then put this on a piece of Baltic birch plywood, and it fits in to the top part of the shiplap, and then it comes flush to the piece on the bottom. And so it really brought the two parts together, in my opinion, and really looks a lot better. I'm just using 3M, you know, super adhesive tape to put this one up. So again, we'll see how this lasts the test of time. If it doesn't, no big deal. It's something that's easy to put back up again, but I just didn't want to have to deal with any more screw holes. At this point, the door is pretty decent, but still, if you get just the correct angle, which you can actually tell in the camera right now, you can see a little bit of that foam insulation, and I didn't like that. So I took some off-white colored weather stripping, but obviously its adhesive definitely wouldn't hold up. And so I just used some of the thin 3M VHB tape again here. And you know, people do use this to put their solar panels on top of their vans, so it is really quite sticky. I wouldn't trust that alone for my solar panels, but we'll get to the solar panels in another episode. And for the bottom, I only had to do the one side. Now for the bottom part of the door, I had to make sure that I would be able to remove that panel if I had to get into the mechanisms, because that was the very first thing I had to do on this van is I had to get into that door, into the mechanisms, and fix the lock system. So that, you know, was a good reminder that I have to be able to access every wire, cable, etc. in the van. So this did have a cover on it, this cardboardy, horrible shaped cover. And so I'm happy that it did, because I was able to just trace this onto 1/8 inch Baltic birch, and then I just cut it out and followed the same screw holes. And then we're going to go ahead and paint it, and we're going to be able to use the same style connectors that it came with. I did order, you know, brand new ones to make sure that they would hold up over time. So obviously every model door is going to be different depending on what kind of van that you have, but I hope you found maybe a few helpful hints in this video. And if you're enjoying the process, please like and subscribe and follow along. Here's a few sneak peeks of some of the other components that are done that I just haven't made videos of yet. So please enjoy.